Hello, listening people.
Hello.
You're listening to Spin Polish Presents Unappreciated Masterpieces. I'm Ryan Sliwinski.
And I'm Bartek.
Yes, that's correct. That is correct. You nailed it. You got it correct this time.
Got it on the 20th take, yeah.
Yeah, we had to keep starting and stopping. You kept saying the guest's name. You kept saying my name.
Yeah.
And then I said, cut! Alright, Bartek, this
From the top.
From the top, this is the final take. And then we're nailing this. I mean, the rest of what you're going to hear, there's no editing involved. We're just going to keep it all in. Because that's what Spin Polish is about. We are both about keeping it in and repression, which is also a form of keeping it in. But also, we like to spit, and we are both Polish. And that's why we call it Spit and Polish. And we present to you an unappreciated masterpieces because, you know why? Because we're so brave. We're brave enough to give you a podcast that's a feature-length audio commentary for a film that seemingly doesn't deserve a commentary, seemingly doesn't deserve praise or love. And we say, hey, 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 stop being mean, okay? Be brave. Isn't it braver to look a movie in the mouth and say, nice mouth, instead of saying, get that mouth away from me? You know, that's what I think.
You know, it's an unreasonable request to say, get that mouth away from me. If you're just looking at the mouth, it's not like being presented to you or anything.
Yeah, exactly. How rude.
Or maybe it's like a really intense, complicated way of saying, shut up.
Shut your face. You know, we cover movies that need more love. Films that were not necessarily forgotten, but not necessarily remembered. You know, they're not appreciated. They're not valued for the piece of art they are because people got involved, guys. You know, work was put in, costumes were made, you know, a camera was hired, you know.
Yeah, you said people got involved, guys, but, you know, you could also say guys got involved, people. So, like, whichever one you prefer.
Involved, guys, people.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I got to say about that. You know, jeez.
That was a Forrest Gump quote.
Well, it's also a Yoda quote if you really want to go there.
That's what I have to say about that?
Yeah. No, the whole entire quote where it was saying, involved, guys, people, please. That's all I have to say about that.
I see, yes.
That's all I have to say about that. Bartek, we are covering a legendary film, but I don't know what the film is. I think you need to tell me, and you need to tell the audience, because I know they could read the title of the episode and say, Ryan, it's this, but I can't hear them.
Yeah, you're in the future, guys. We're the past.
Yeah. Well, in the moment, we're in the present, but when you're listening to it, it's the past.
Well, you just said that in the past.
Oh, shit. You know, someone's going to be listening to this when we're dead and in the void of space, and they're going to be listening to it. And they're going to be like...
This is the last remnants of humanity that I have to live with, huh?
No. They're going to be like, this is all Dad had left. And when we're like, who's the dad in this situation? Little do we know it's the guest.
Right.
Bartek, what's the film?
The film that we are doing today is Dudley Do-Right.
You want to go over that again? Take 2!
Take 21, actually.
Yeah. Take 2 of that line.
Right, hello, listening people. Hello, Bartek.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
Mouth.
The movie that we're doing today is Dudley Do-Right.
Oh, you know, I understand the first word, Dudley. Dudley, and you're speaking Polish. Yeah, the rest of it's Polish.
Well, yeah, the last word.
Look,
That's
I don't...
what we're meant to do, right?
Yeah, because you don't, you know, you speak Polish, I don't speak Polish, so ha, joke.
Oh!
But I'm going to actually do some detective work.
I was wondering why you weren't speaking Polish.
You know, I'm going to do some Mountie work on this one. And figure
you're
out...
actually very close, right?
I'm very close. Dudley Moore. Oh my god, are we doing the Arthur remake with Russell Brand? Nailed it.
I haven't seen that one. I've only seen the original.
Oh, are we doing that?
Well, we can. Is it unappreciated?
What, the original or the remake?
The remake.
Oh, it's definitely unappreciated. It's got Russell Brand in it. That says unappreciated.
Let's do it.
Right on the box.
Alright guys, we're doing Arthur.
Okay, good. Arthur from 2011.
Oh wait, we've prepared for an episode though.
Oh,
Dudley
what?
Do-Right.
Oh, what's that?
It's the movie we're doing.
What is it?
I thought you were doing detective work.
Oh, I figured out the...
You realise you're not a detective.
No, I figured out if Arthur was unappreciated. Case closed.
Right.
Now you do the work, Chief Inspector.
Tune in next week for Arthur. Anyway, today we are doing Dudley Do-Right, which Alright, I need to translate. I need to do it right.
Okay.
Did you like how because it's Dudley Do-Right, so I said...
Oh, it's the film Dudley Do-Right.
Yeah, from 1996 Upside Down.
What?
1999.
Oh, I was like, it didn't
Fun fact, everyone, 6 Upside Down looks like 9.
I thought you were saying 1699.
Oh, the whole 4 numbers.
Yeah,
No.
6, yeah.
In which case it would be, like 9,661?
Yeah, sure.
That's a long time, guys.
Wait. Wait, you're reversing and upside down again. Is
Well,
that
you
what you're
upside
doing?
down something, like right hand will be on the left, so...
No.
Oh, you're like flipping each individual number?
You know what the best part of this is?
Yeah?
We've already covered this. We've already covered this mistake on the show twice before. We've already got over this. And that's what you should be doing, going over all of our previous episodes for the fun bits of life. But we have a fun bit of life joining us for the show, and I'm going to introduce him because he's the OG. He's the original guest of the show. He's our father.
Not really, but...
Steven Tyler, great to meet you. No, he's the father of the human race. God might say. He is his own son. Will Brooks.
Hello, how's it going, guys? I'm your guest.
Such a godly introduction.
Well,
I mean, greeting. I was
greeting.
talking about what he did, not you, Ryan.
I did a great
You're
introduction.
You're just a Ryan.
So, guys, you're going to get your copy of Dudley Do-Right, the feature-length film with Brendan Fraser, who is a returning regular on this show. He feels like a part of the furniture, Brendan does.
Yeah, he's been on one episode, right?
No.
Has he been on more than one?
Yeah, I feel.
I only know of Monkey Bone.
Well,
He's in Dickie Roberts' former.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
He had a little cameo.
How could you fuck? He was one of the bigger cameos. He was the dad. So get your copy ready, because you're going to press play when I say play, and you're going to be lined up. Now, just for those at home, yes, the version we're watching does include the little animated short before it, so...
The fox, the box, and the locks.
So, have that one ready, or else you're going to be lost.
So if you don't have that, wait for us to do like a second 3, 2, 1.
No,
No?
no, they're just going to have to suffer. 3, 2, 1, play. There we go.
Do we do an unappreciated masterpiece on the fox, the box, and the locks?
Well, isn't it unappreciated? It is,
I didn't prepare comments for it.
Well, I have some comments for it.
Okay.
10 out of 10, loved it.
Okay. Did you like the twist of she wants to close
The
keep the
book,
open,
keep
in
the
fact.
yeah, I love that.
And she shows off like kind of like a model. Like a car show, it's like, look at this title, and then the book
And then gets
closes.
crushed on
That doesn't
a-
happen at car shows, so...
I love the fox is spelled with a P.
H.
H.
Yeah.
Hold on, I was giving it the
So I'm really
dramatic.
excited.
I love the horse. Will, you love horses.
That's accurate.
Are you the old man in this sequence? Is that the character you relate to the most?
I don't have glasses, but otherwise it's pretty close,
It's-
I've got to say.
The tooth is what really gets it.
It's a nice touch.
Will
I wear
has-
blue a lot as well.
Yeah, Will wears blue and has a singular bottom tooth that's covering, the lip area there.
My legs quiver as well a lot.
He's a
It
quiverer.
happens.
And here's like the kind of motif, or like the book ending of the short. The whole idea of I didn't say when. The whole idea of when.
It's called a setup.
Yeah, it's gonna come back, guys.
And it's a punchline later, and little did we know. Bartek, which character are you in this short?
In this short, look, I'm kind of full of myself. I think you know that. So
Yeah.
I have to say that I am the second dumbest guy in the village.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the milkmaid.
No. Even though I did do a June 4A impression in our Rocky and Bullwinkle episode, I am not she.
You're not she. And then who am I? Great question. It seems obvious to say Fox, obviously, but
You're short and you're tall.
I'm very tall.
But then again, I said that I'm the tallest character, so, Maybe
Yeah.
you're the horse.
No, I'm not the horse.
Oh, you don't want to be dead. Yeah, that's a good question. Who are you, Ryan?
I will tell you who I am. I am the chest. A very important character, because
you got poetry written on it.
I got poetry. There's a threat. I've always got threats.
It's a poetic threat, though.
Oh, as all threats are.
Yeah, and it rhymes.
And inside of me, I have a con man dying every single day, screaming for help. Help me! And that's a con. That's the con of life.
I feel like artists would interpret that as being that you are the con man.
No. Just because it's deep within inside me doesn't mean I am him, you know?
So you're a chest that has threats written on you in a very poetic way.
I'm full of treasure.
But you hate the fact that people try to have an artistic interpretation of the fact that you have a con man inside. He's like, guys, it's just a literal thing. There's a guy trapped in here. It's not that I am him.
Guys, I could tell you that when I put the con man inside of me, it was, on purpose, but, that's not what I was feeling when I put him there. Take with that what you want, assume whatever with that, except for don't. I'm just the author of this story.
Could I ask you a question?
I like questions.
About the chest?
Yeah, about me? Yeah, go on.
So it wasn't locked initially, but then it became locked?
Well, yeah. Yep. You close the lid, it locks in.
Right. I really closed the lid on the case, too.
Yeah. Actually, I'm the cow. I forgot
there was another character.
A big one.
And his nose is so big that he can carry the what's it called again?
The sack?
They had a word for it, didn't they? Did they say sack?
They did specify the type of sack.
It was a special sack. They're like, it is the specialist sack in the world.
We know it's not a dress.
Well, no, because she uses her dress as a sack. And he's like, oh, thanks. I guess...
Or was she using a sack as a dress?
Yeah, but here's the problem, Will, all round, is a dress out of all kind of clothing would not be the best unless altered for being a sack. Due to the fact that it is open on the bottom. You know what I'm saying there? Like if you put coins in it, it would just shoot through.
And we're coming up to the ending right now.
Years have gone by, and I've grown, and nobody cares. That old man's still alive.
I'm happy that you didn't rot, but you did have, thorns growing around.
Well, I'm thorny. On the outside, Connie on the inside, but on
I got married.
You got married. Years it took you, but I had.
I'm slow, alright?
No, I like the fact that what that's saying is the short is saying she's not in love with him just for the money. It took them years to build up that relationship. Yeah. And the old man, Will, is still alive.
Maybe.
No, he was. He was on the horse.
Was he?
Yeah, because it says years later, and you know who cared about the fox? It cuts the old man. Here's the punchline joke where he's all like, nobody cares.
Of course, Will's character doesn't care.
No, he says no one cares.
No one cares.
He declares it because he is God. He's the oldest and the wisest.
Even the chest.
In the town.
So guys, that was The Fox, the Box and the Locks.
I loved it. Thanks, Mike Day. From 1999. Now, Bartek, could you shed some light on why they put that in the front of the movie?
I believe, and by the way, listening people, the real Dudley Do-Right signing now. I believe the reason is that it was a short that they made in the 70s for a series called Fractured Fairy Tales. And I believe someone important to the project, Dudley Do-Right, died. I don't remember if it was Jay Ward.
Probably.
It might have been Jay Ward. It was someone
this
related...
film killed him.
It was related to the whole Rocky and Bullwinkle and Dudley Do-Right universe. And I believe they included at the start of this film in theaters and in the copy we're watching, and maybe the copy you're watching, as a sort of homage to him.
Yeah, as a little tribute, as a little thanks for the job.
Yep, and then we get some nice child acting.
Oh, I love the child acting because it reminded me of animes a lot, in which the lips don't match up at all to the voices.
Is that a thing?
In animes?
No, in this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Were they actually dubbed or something?
Oh, yeah. It's ADR. It's, clear ADR lines. Because they're outside near ducks and all that, and a horse. So there would be too much noise for a scene like this. So all their lines are like, she's talking and she'll be like, her lips would be slightly out of sync. And you just hear her, obviously the sound recording booth, just be like, oh, Dudley! And I'm like, yay! It's like the animated shorts. And then I think that's what the movie was going for. Nice salute there. I like how they chose real Canadians to be the Canadians.
Is Alfred Molina Canadian? Well, I mean, you're talking about the kids?
I'm just talking about everyone's a Canadian at heart in this film.
Well, there's a Polish-American actor in this film. I don't think he's...
Who?
Inspector Fenwick.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're fallen silent. He's just nodding along. But Will, I've got a very important question for you. You're really going to have to really buckle down on this. What's your history with Dudley Do-Right, the film and the character?
Well, there was a gentleman in my school growing up, and this was his absolute favourite film.
What was his name? Was
James.
it James Dudley Do-Right?
Yes, his name was James. And I got in touch with him in preparation for this and asked him what he thought of the movie. And he said, it's pretty great.
Wow, thanks, James. How many stars do you give it? Pretty great. So, had you seen this film before?
No, I hadn't seen it before. Yesterday. I was wasting my life until I saw this movie, so I'm very glad that I watched it yesterday.
Oh, a lot of guests thank me for the films that they have to watch for the show because...
Though it's been a while.
They're transcendent. All the guests thank me. They always shake my hand and say, thanks, Ryan, for telling me to watch this film. And I say, don't thank me. Thank the filmmaker.
They say hi to me.
Yeah, they don't know what to say to Bartek other than hello, I guess. They're like, ugh.
I'm sure the audience right now wants to thank you, Ryan.
And say hi to me.
Could.
Alex Rocco, classic A-grade actor. Bartek.
Yes.
What's your history with Dudley Do-Right, the film, and or the character?
I had heard the name before. I mentioned when we did The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, I think was it last year that we did that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mentioned when we did that episode that I used to sometimes catch The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle show on TV. I don't know if... Again, I don't have too much of a memory of watching them, so I don't know if the Dudley Do-Right shorts appeared there. But all I can say for sure is that I'd heard of the name.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I might have seen the character, somewhere.
And, yeah, that's fair. I have seen this movie before. Numerous times growing up. It was always on TV on a Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's that kind of movie.
A childhood well spent.
Yeah, exactly. And then, obviously this goes in like three, so there's three types of movies three different movies you can watch back to back and get the same good feel. You can watch Dudley Do-Right, The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, and George of the Jungle. They all have lots of similarities to them. The narrator is in all of them, I think.
I think the narrator might be different between this movie and Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh, he's the same one in George of the Jungle.
Okay.
And Brendan Fraser's in two of those films I just listed. And, what a sweetheart,
Brendan?
The film. Everyone's a sweetheart involved in all those films I just listed. And this one as well. I mean, I've also not really watched any of the shorts, but I will be honest, the one character I knew more than Dudley Do-Right was Snidely Whiplash.
Yeah, I figured.
I think I've mentioned his character on the show before, and I think I've done it injustice, because every time I think of Snidely Whiplash, I think he's the villain in Wacky Races, which is actually Dick Dastardly. Yeah, Dick Dastardly, and Muttley. But they're basically the same character.
It's the same type of, old schoolish...
Old school evil!
Yeah.
But Dick Dastardly is more famous, because he has all the great catchphrases like drat, drat, double drat, or triple drat, or curses, I lose again, and all that kind of stuff. And he has Muttley.
Yeah.
Well, we have Dudley and Horse. Now, Will Brooks... champion of men,
and I love horses,
and he loves horses.
This is a big
linked
horse
us
lover film.
to a short of Dudley Do-Right that is very reminiscent of the plot line of this movie, which is Dudley Do-Right has to be a bad guy to do good, and it's great. Did you watch it, Bartek?
I watched a different short.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd already seen it around the time Will posted the link. So.
Well, that link Will posted is a summary of this film. It is good guy Dudley has to be bad guy Dudley to infiltrate and destroy the organizations of Snidely Whiplash, who has taken over.
The short that I watched was Snidely Whiplash going on a spree of tying people to train tracks.
As he
and
does.
revealing that it's always been an obsession of his that he can't help.
Well, yeah. I love the fact that in the short that I watched, Nell, who's played brilliantly by Sarah Jessica Parker, who, by the way, yes, she was doing Sex in the City at the same time as this, and Mars Attacks, so...
That is
How did she fit it in her schedule? How did she fit it in? I don't know.
But what were you going to say about Nell?
Nell, in the animated short, is also dubious in terms of her allegiance to Dudley or Snidely, but it actually says the one that she's in love with is the horse.
Yeah.
Which, I would have loved to have seen that in this film. I would have loved to have seen Sarah Jessica Parker, the woman who's often remarked as having a horse face, fall in love with an actual horse in this film. Also, she's married to Matthew Broderick in real life, and he is the real life Dudley Do-Right. I feel like he could have done a great Dudley Do-Right in this.
Well, wasn't he played Inspector Gadget, and isn't
Yeah.
that character considered like a really big do-gooder?
He's a doofus.
Doofus, yeah.
Do-gooder? Yeah. Inspector Gadget, I guess by default, but it's more Penny, the niece.
Right.
That's the hero of that show, and Brains the dog. And in the movie, they kind of do that a little, but the movie of Inspector Gadget is great because the one thing that you knew about Inspector Gadget is, like, Dr. Claw or whatever. You never saw his face. And in the movie, they're like, here's his fucking face! You know, he's actually the main character. And he has an evil cat. Nah, fuck that. We're not gonna have a cat. And you know, he actually had a robot hand. In this, we're gonna give him a clamp hand. Because, fuck it. So here's your famous scene, Bartek. You watched this as a short, the tying to the train tracks.
Well, he tied many, many people.
Well, in this, it's a homage.
At one point, he ties himself to the train tracks.
That's truly devious.
Fucking sadomasochist.
No. It was part of his brilliant plan to trick Dudley. Because Dudley's running along the train tracks, like, chasing after him, but he keeps coming across people that he's tied to the trains, like, oh no, Nell, oh no, Inspector Fenwick, oh no, horse, oh no, Snidely. Then he runs forward, and he's like, wait a second.
I'd fall for that.
You know what that reminds me of? In Kung Pao. This film and the Dudley Do-Right really influenced Kung Pao. Because Kung Pao has a similar moment in which he thinks everybody's dead.
Oh,
and he runs around and is like, oh my god, you're alive! And then he goes back to Wimplo. It's like,
yeah.
Wimplo! Oh, he's still dead.
Yeah.
And it's very similar. That kind of... You know what? Here's what I want to address, something very big in the room. We've talked about comedies before on this show.
Yeah.
We've talked about the era of the 2000s kind of comedies in which they wrote a script. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about the newer comedies in which they improvise. Let's talk about this era, which I'll say from like 1990, let's say 7, maybe 6, to 2002. They did these zany cartoon comedies in which they were live action.
Yeah,
though.
this was a year before Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know where George's Jungle is in the timeline of this as well, but it's like George, Rocky and Bullwinkle and, this, Inspector Gadget, all those kind of movies, they all were just like these live action cartoons. Did
Scooby-Doo fit into this timeline?
Yeah.
Really late into it.
Yeah, I guess they're like the last kicks of life into this.
The end of an era.
But I think Scooby-Doo's a little bit different because in terms of its execution, because these are like, there's something very specific about these ones where they got the narrator and he's telling pretty much every single line of dialogue in the movie.
Yeah.
And then he goes away for no apparent reason, then he comes back. That kind of thing. And then
he gets acknowledged too, so he's like a character.
Yeah, and then you have the bad guys are always like the ones dressed in black and they've always got accents and they're always like, yeah. I don't know. What was happening in the late 90s that was requiring this?
I think maybe... I guess it was just something that hadn't really been done before previously, right? And like one thing I really appreciate about this film was the fact that it I think you could almost call it a parody of a lot of like good versus bad stories, and even action films in a way.
Yeah.
Because there's a point later on, which I think was my favourite sequence of the film, was when Dudley Do-Right, having lost his job, he's now a badass biker with a leather jacket. He like runs in a motorcycle and shoots things, and it really reminded me of one of my favourite elements of the Grand Theft Auto franchise, which is the
riding a horse.
The first word rhymes with the first word I was going to say.
Being Canadian?
The writing in the radio commercials where they have, like, parodies of movies. Yeah. And it just really reminded me of this. Like, this, like, really simple good guy is now a bad guy. And he has to, bring the fight to the bad guys. And, like, action chase scenes, stuff like that. It was something that really struck with me.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You know what? I want to point out two things. The Mummy would have come out around the same time as this. Mm-hmm. And I think that's interesting to just point out where Brendan Fraser was in his career at this point. And Sarah Jessica Parker at the moment is singing a song. They're both singing the song, I'm loving you, all that. That's also used in the film Mars Attacks, which I mentioned just a moment ago, which she was in. Mm-hmm. And that's the weakness for the aliens in Mars Attacks, is whenever that song is played, their heads explode. And I think this film is smart enough to have on purposely put that in there, because Mars Attacks came out a couple years before this film. And I think they're subtly putting that in there, being like, Sarah Jessica Parker was in that movie.
So could you say that in Mars Attacks that is a strong plot element?
Oh, it's a crucial plot element. Yeah. It is very essential to that film.
So I suppose the parody here is that, like, it's used, and you might think, having watched that film, that it's going to be important, but really it's just kind of like a thing between the two of them to like make a relationship.
Well, it's to prove that she knows she's a real Canadian.
Oh yeah, she's not a vampire too.
Yeah, vampires exist in this universe according to the Mounties.
Will, did you think vampires existed?
I always think vampires exist.
Oh, you still think they exist?
Well, he lives in this universe. We managed to get him out of there just to ask him some questions. Will, late 90s, what do you think is the reason for the resurgence or rise of this type of comedy? It's a bold question. It's a bold question.
That's profound, Ryan. I feel I'd have to go back to the lab with the lads, and we'd have to sit down, prepare some charts, some chemicals,
some lads.
Yeah, some lads. I think I need to consult with them. It's too broad and too profound
of a question. It's like saying who's God.
Of why these came about, they're very fulfilling. They fulfilled a need that was there. I don't know what that need was yet. It'll be many years before we figure it out, but they filled it.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame rap. I think rap music was just too prevalent in the 90s, and the film execs were like, no, we're not gonna deal with another Ice Cube or Mr. T. We're going to make a bunch of comedy films that only appeal to young white children. That's what we're going to do. I think it was like, Hollywood's like, oh no, this rap music's coming in. We're going to show them we're cool.
I don't think just white people. There are Native Americans in this film.
Oh, yes, there are, Bartek. Yes, there are.
In a Cannibal the Musical twist on Native American, yes.
I'm going to bring it up right now, straight out of the gate.
Well, they're going to them right now. So.
I was very disappointed in this sequence. They did still have the moose head on the... Yeah, I thought it would have been a majestic image of a guy in a Mountie uniform canoeing with a moose head on.
Well, at least the film was intelligent enough to mention what happened to it.
Yeah, that's right.
We unfortunately, listening people, we don't have the subtitles on us, but I do remember that the narrator points out that they saw a moose head removal specialist.
Yes.
He does do that.
Now, the chief of the natives here is played by Alex Rocco, who I mentioned before, and he is a very famous actor. He was a very famous actor, I should say. He is in the Godfather movie as Mo Green, who has one of the most iconic death sequences in the film, in which he's getting a massage on a massage table. It's like during the iconic scene of The Godfather in which he's like, Al Pacino's at the baptism, and then like during the baptisms, everyone's getting murdered because he's getting them all executed. And Mo Green's one of them. He's got his glasses on, which he's wearing in this film, by the way. Nice homage there, nice wink wink. They're not the exact same type glasses, but still, nice wink. And he gets shot in the eyeball, so they shoot him through his glasses, and he just bleeds out, and that's like really iconic visual of the film. Even The Simpsons make references to it quite a lot, because also, he was in The Simpsons. His voice may be very reminiscent to us all. He was in The Simpsons as the creator, the so-called creator of Itchy and Scratchy.
I thought...
Or the son of...
I thought I'd heard his voice recently, and I did watch that clip of the focus test a couple of weeks ago.
Which was... what's his name? Is like something Maya Jr., yeah? Ralph Maya Jr. or something like that?
Ralph Wiggum was in the scene, so I don't know if they give him the same name. But I think Maya was definitely...
Yeah. And you know what's really weird? I looked him up. That character, apparently, at least voiced by him, appears in only 3 episodes. Feels like he was in more. Isn't it weird how that kind of plays?
Too, weren't they?
Yeah. But it feels like he was in more, yeah? Feels like he was in more.
Really, only 3?
That seems...
At least voiced by that actor.
That seems sort of right. Maybe a little more.
I guess it's really weird because it means a little character like that, played by a great actor like him, is a lot more iconic in our memories, because I remember lots of his scenes, so I always think of him like in way more episodes.
Well, when he appeared, it was probably in like Itchy and Scratchy centered episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
And we can probably name a few. Like, there's that Poochie one. There's the one where Marge like argues against it, and
argues against
Itchy and Scratchy, like violence children, make it friendly. And then...
Is that the same one in which he loses the rights to Itchy and Scratchy? That's also one.
No, that might be the third one. The one that I was talking about was the one where Maggie hits Homer, and
Itchy
and Scratchy become friendly, and like Scratchy reads a bedtime story.
Well, I also remember, wasn't he in that episode in which they were wanting better kids shows he's at the very start of the episode, and that's the one where they do the kids news report. He's at the start with the panel with like Krusty and that corporate woman, who also, like, the corporate woman with the short blonde hair that you always think's in more episodes as well, and he's also there and is, like, a part of that committee. I can't remember. Like,
he had lines? Was he just there?
I think he did have lines.
Okay, I don't know.
Because he's like, don't let it affect my show! And it's like, shut up. But yeah, look, talking about a great icon of comedy and legend, Alfred Molina. No, Eric Idle's in this.
Alfred Molina is a returning.
Eric Idle, the half-cooked turkey that he is in this movie, is here. He has teeth, apparently.
I have teeth.
Look, he has.
I don't.
He has one. He has one. Will, are you a big Eric Idle fan?
Yeah, sure.
He just decided then. You can tell by the use of the word sure.
Bartek, Eric Idle, you know him? Fan?
He's from Monty Python, right?
Yeah.
I've never been too big on Monty Python.
Have you not seen him in anything else? Or heard him in anything else? He's very versatile.
I might have.
He gets around.
He was in Casper.
I probably saw that when I was a kid.
The film? The live-action film?
When I was a kid, yeah.
Is that also an unappreciated man?
Oh, you fucking know it is. You fucking know it is. It has Robert from Everybody Loves Raymond in it. Of course, it's unappreciated.
It is damn fucking unappreciated.
Do you remember there was here's something I just want to bring up. Everybody Loves Raymond. Robert had Robert the brother, Brad Garrett. He had his own show that wasn't the character of Robert, but it basically was Robert. What was that about? Like, why can't they just do a spin-off? Just do it. Just fucking do it. But you know what they did do in this film, at least, Bartek? They had Regis on it as himself.
And Kathy Lee Griffin.
Yeah, who cares about Kathy Lee? Let's
she
focus
was in
on
the news a couple of months ago for the Trump thing.
Oh, it's her. Yeah.
Trump head.
She's married.
Good for
Kathy. It's Kathy Griffith.
Kathy Lee Griffith.
I think in real life now it says Kathy Griffith.
Oh, is it?
Got rid of the Lee.
Because probably marriage. I don't know. If it's the same Kathy, she's married to Antonio Banderas.
Oh, good for her. He's a nice, I think.
He's a nice.
He's a nice.
He's a nice. Oh, look, this is the Bartek character, I feel.
Is it?
I feel you're
There's
this
the facial
character.
hair.
Yeah, but you don't need to have facial hair.
Also, it says Canada. I'm Polish.
Yeah, but maybe he is Polish and he just works at the Canadian border.
To be fair, the Canadian flag colours are the same as the Polish one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, here's a question. To work at the border security, do you have to be, like, do you have
qualified? Or...
No, like, do you have to be a native of that country? Like, could I work at the Canadian border?
My answer is I don't see why not, but it's also an uninformed answer.
It's like, well, it's the same as, well, I think you should be able to, right? Because people who aren't from Australia work at Australian airports at the border security.
From Australia is a very loose kind of thing. Though,
I guess, I don't know.
Do you have to be a citizen?
That's what I mean, like citizen or resident, yeah?
And also, Canada, and well, this is 1999, but Canada and Australia...
Part of the Commonwealth?
I was going to say progressive countries, but then again, Australia's been kind of naughty lately. But Canada's always seen as like one of the big progressive countries.
I think you're going to mention they were underneath the umbrella of being nodding to Europe and the Queen. Are they a part of the monarchy? Are they a part of the Commonwealth?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure Canada still is.
Are they?
They got the French aspect, so probably not.
I could be horribly wrong there. Canadians could tell me that. I mean, they can't tell me right now, but they could tell me down the line. I'm pretty sure.
I think they use the slang for journalists, journos. They could be like us.
I thought they were part of the Commonwealth Games.
That's...
Or perhaps I've just been absolutely...
When did Canada become a thing? Was it after the War of Independence?
I don't know what Canada... Canada, what's your backstory? Please explain it. It has a dark, gritty backstory. We were all French, and we said, fuck the English, and then the English came over, and they were all like, hello, and then we all had stupid accents from there on out.
Yeah, I just don't really know that much about Canada historically.
Well, if you watch enough Kevin Smith movies, you'll learn eventually, because he's loving Canada right now.
The only fact online I ever see them bring up is that at one point they apparently burnt down the White House.
Oh,
a
good.
very, very early version of it.
We missed my favourite joke in the entire movie, by the way. It's the best joke in the film. And if you think otherwise, you're wrong, okay? This isn't subjective, this is objective truth here. The best joke in the film was the news reporter that you don't even see, you just hear him saying a news report, breaking news, Canadian bacon has just been confirmed to be regular ham.
Right.
The deadpan delivery of it, and just... the right amount of cartooniness to that logic.
So, a lot of listening people who maybe haven't seen the film but are watching along or just listening to us are probably asking themselves...
what's the plot?
Isn't this film called Dudley Do-Right? We haven't seen too much of him lately.
And has he done right? He's doing wrong a lot, actually. He's very wrong.
Well, he's sleeping pretty well.
If you're watching this, you're saying to yourself, hey, is this not the Snidely Whiplash movie? And you're wrong. Because it's actually Dudley Do-Right. We're not watching Snidely Whiplash.
Well, I think...
it's a different film.
I think to an extent they have a point, but I also think...
I mean, they can have a point and be wrong. I mean, that's okay.
I also think that this is a film that gives kind of like a changing of focus.
Yeah.
Like, early on, like, our antagonist is Snidely Whiplash, but throughout the film, they keep saying... They keep having this, like... interesting scale of good versus evil.
Yeah,
good versus bad.
In what is good evil?
Well, and more about the dynamic of if there is a good, there must be an evil, and if the evil becomes good, then the good must be evil.
And also, it explores the idea of, is there a grey area, or is it simply black and white?
Do they explore the grey area?
Well, as they mentioned,
yeah,
they can do bad things and not be a bad guy.
Yeah, no. Dudley's coming to terms with the idea that there might be a grey area, and then he realizes, no, there isn't. That's what I mean, that's the exploration. The main character is exploring the idea because he actually does come to a realization at a point that, I don't know, Snidely is improving the town, he is doing good. Maybe he isn't as bad as he is, and then the word greed is thrown at him. He's like, oh, greed, that's it! That's all that is! But
also they acknowledge the fact that he ran out all the original residents.
Yeah, and then the original residents are the ones that throw him out of the town at the end, even though there are no residents, they're all tourists. Yeah, that was kind of interesting plot twist.
They ran back.
Yeah, they ran back in, and he was just too lazy.
They realised the vampires weren't real.
Yeah, I swear that one of his bodyguards here... no, I'm 100% sure, actually, that one of his bodyguards here with grey whitish hair and a mustache was... the bodyguard, security guard in Big Fat Liar.
Are you sure? This guy looks older than that guy. Wasn't the guy in Big Fat Liar taller and a bit bigger?
Well, Alfred Molina is like 6 foot something, 6'4" or something.
It's hard to judge a character.
Alfred Molina is really tall, isn't he?
Oh, wow.
It's
I
hard
don't
to-
really know him that well. Sorry, Will, what were you saying?
It's hard to judge a character's height in a movie because from the actor because they can alter that. quite a bit
Yeah, I
in the
mean, look at
movie,
Brendan
so-
Fraser. I mean, he's wearing Mountie boots. He looks like he's 7 feet tall. Look at him. Holding his hands. I don't know. I stumped you all when I was like that. I'm pretty
Damn,
sure that
that's some good
security guard's the
posture.
guy.
I don't
from,
know that I believe. I don't know that I subscribe to that. notion.
Subscribe, unsubscribed
I think I've
from Spit and
unsubscribed.
Polish because it is the bodyguard from Big Fat Liar,
I'm
the
not
security
sure-
guard.
Oh, sorry, you said the bodyguard, and I was thinking.
Security guard, bodyguard. Well, they're all he's guarding.
I'm not sure if physically they're the same person, but spiritually they're the same person.
Well, they're on the show.
Yeah.
At the moment, we're talking about the earliest film we've done and the latest.
oh,
What does that say?
Tiger Stripes.
I'm still wondering about
Uh,
Canada and the Commonwealth.
Yeah, I've got a very
Really?
big question. This is going to flash forward to a scene, but I just really want you to settle in on this when it comes up. His color scheme, the Snidely, is black and white, but black, right?
Yeah, monochromish. I guess
Monochromish.
you'd say.
Why is it that later, when he has a ball, they all throw like a ceremony in his honor? It's the color scheme is all green and yellow. Like all the balloons are green and yellow, the streamers are green and yellow, everything's green and yellow, but his whole entire town is pretty much black.
Maybe.
Why is that?
Maybe it's if you were to say what are the yucky colours, or the colours that you could use to make something yucky. You might go to green and yellow because they're kind of like slimy-ish colours,
Oh.
Depends on the
rotten
shade.
colours.
Or maybe it's yellow's gold, and green is the earth in which the gold is in.
And because it's a bad guy, it's rotted.
Yeah. I always think of the American Office in which Dwight tries to throw a birthday party for someone or like celebration. He just half blows up balloons and they're all brown and grey. And he just has a sign that says, "It is your birthday," with a period at the end.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I felt with the town. They could have just half blown the balloons up and just went, "It is your ball," and then period at the end. So, this is a very important sequence here.
The 6-pack of dynamite.
6-pack of dynamite. It's the highest test dynamite in the entire world, and they're going to blow up Dudley. But guess what? The Dudley's not there.
Yeah, the narrator told us earlier.
Who's that in the window?
Oh, when he was worried about the vampires, he put a cardboard cutout.
Exactly. Will kept up. Bartek's even a little bit like.
No, I was about to say it.
I don't know.
But then you kept talking.
I think Will.
I
I think
believe
Will
you,
answered.
Bartek.
It was established earlier.
I believe
I
he was
know.
about to say that.
I'm making sure we're all up to date on the
Stop
film.
making me panic.
Stop panicking, then.
Are we still doing the Fox Box and Deluxe?
Yeah, it's over now.
We didn't give our
Still
reviews.
wondering about Canada and the Commonwealth.
Well,
Racking my brain.
I think the answer is Paul Giamatti. There you go.
It's been a long time.
I wish Paul Giamatti was in this.
You know who would have been great as Snidely Whiplash? Paul Giamatti. And he would have played it with no accent either. He would have just been like, "Man, it's me, Paul Giamatti. What do you want?" That's exactly how he
No
would have played
accent.
it. No accent. That's Paul Giamatti's voice. Alfred Molina is putting on an accent here where he's like, "Man,
We all have accents, Ryan.
Well, he's putting on one. That's why I said it.
We all.
Why
put
is the chief here?
You
He's a
don't-
government official.
You don't like him?
No, why is he here? Like in the scene.
Racist.
Why is he here though, Bartek?
It's his country, Ryan.
But why is he
He
here?
has a right to
Yeah,
know what's
but-
happening in his homeland.
Yeah, but the town isn't a part of their homeland. So why is the chief there?
It's part of America, Ryan.
Canada.
Well, that's
North
still part
America.
of North America. The Americas.
Oh, you know what I mean? Like, why did the chief come to this
All right.
meeting?
Why did the chief come to the meeting? I think it would have to be because Dudley Do-Right, as much as he is our hero,
He is.
he's a little slow. I feel like he needs someone with wisdom and experience to help him with the discussion. As you can see right now,
The guy clapped his hands. Bang.
Chief's doing all the talking.
Man, Justin Trudeau sure got a lot more handsome as the years went on.
On backwards.
Aging in reverse.
Then again, 1999 has a lot of nines in it, so it could be.
And then you reverse it, it becomes 6,000.
We are literally in a year right now with a 0 in it. That's how disgusting.
What's the reverse of zero?
The reverse of 0 is -0.
No, well, the reverse of 0 would be kind of like a really weird, like, circle on its side, you see.
That's like a half reverse? Like a quarter turn?
You know, it depends where you're looking at it.
-0.
Three-quarter.
Does that
Depends
mean
how
you
you're
have
looking
something?
at it. Depends if you're really looking at it from an angle.
Well, if you're looking at it from an angle, you wouldn't even have to turn it. You'd be turning yourself.
There you go. And that's how
Truly,
science...
we are the zeros.
Like his phone has the Canadian flag and stuff on it.
Oh, the maple leaf, yeah.
Yeah, the leaf and the flag. You know,
It's the Canadian way.
And here we are going to see the Polish-American actor that I mentioned earlier.
her dad.
Her dad, yeah. I think his name is Richard Prosky.
Yes.
I think Prosky is like the stage name he uses. He's got an actual like Polish.
Yeah,
last
because he
name.
spells it with a Y as well.
Yeah, but it's got like a full Polish last name.
With an I?
Maybe, yeah. I think.
Because he sends it with a...
W.
Look, his last name isn't actually Prosky. It's like this whole full thing, but he's shortened it to Prosky.
With a Y. Like Sky. That's the unusual for a Polish name, isn't it? Usually it's eyes, yeah?
Yeah, but I'm saying he's using a stage last name.
Yeah, but even his stage last
Like
name.
his last name might be like Proschutek. I don't know. I looked at it and it was a full thing.
His,
like, it
his
doesn't
stage
end,
name might be Prosky, but his real name is Proshetta.
it doesn't. I don't think it ends with like an I or a Y.
It ends with a Z?
But yeah, even before I looked at like who he was, I looked at him and was like, oh, this guy looks like a Polish Jadek of some sort.
Oh, does he? Does he look like a Polish man?
Yes, he
Does
does.
he?
He does look a very old Polish man.
How do I tell? I don't have the eye.
What's the defining features of an old Polish man?
I think
He's not that
it's-
hairy.
It's hard to tell, but I think it might have something to do with the eyes, the pigment of his skin, maybe the shape of his face. Like something about it is just like, this reminds me of old Polish people I've met.
He's got quite distinctive earlobes. Is that a factor?
Is the fact he has jowls a big factor? Do all
It might-
old Polish people have jowls?
Maybe I'm not sure.
Is Winston Churchill Polish?
It's just a thing that I felt.
You know what it was? Your Polish sense was tingling.
Of course,
And you're like, could it be? Could it be?
my bloodline was reacting.
Yeah, your blood was boiling, and you're like... And when you saw Brendan, did you think that's Polish too?
Well, I didn't have the senses tingling, so.
Okay, were there any other actors that the sense tingled for? Anyone that went, oh my god, my Polish sense!
I don't know that there were any Polish.
Well,
here.
luckily for me, I
Maybe that
gathered
woman-
a list, of Eric Idle.
No, there was like a woman to the left of the frame who.
Unluckily for Bartek, I gathered a list of all the actors who are Polish in the film.
Whoa.
Imagine if I did. That actually...
I'd actually like that.
I'd like if I went in and I got a list of every single actor that's appeared in every single movie that was Polish, and I gave you them, and I gave you some that weren't Polish, and I like, pick one that's Polish from this list, and then you...
Like faces?
Yeah.
Right.
I get like, pick it, no names.
Well, see, the tricky thing is that myself and my mum, we are Polish, but we don't look it.
Oh,
so
you look it, liar.
I look Polish?
Yeah.
In what way?
You look it, just trust
I
me.
mean, my skin's not really that white. So...
Yeah, it's too much hair on it
Well, not
to
even
really
without the hair,
define...
like, look at this. Like,
That's white.
it's not that white.
Bartek, for the
It's
visual
not Richard,
elements...
it's not
for-
Richard Prosky white.
He's old, though. You get paler when you get older. Maybe, he was sick. Maybe he was dying. He's not even that white. He's just got white hair.
Yeah,
So,
I think Alfred Molina might have been whiter than that.
so proof
Oh,
Alfred
he looks
Molina...
so Polish in this shot.
proof Alfred Molina...
We don't know what Alfred Molina is, to be fair. So
What? This is his second time on the show.
yeah, so is he Persian?
We
Is
haven't
he-
seen him since Prince of Persia, where he played a man who could have been any gender. Really, no, that was the problem. Alfred Molina can play any race, but not different genders. Do not make him a woman.
Well, gender's the one that you identify as, so that's like just kind of like you have to just say it, right?
Yeah, but like race is also something you can identify with.
Yeah.
But- and I'm saying he can play any race.
Yeah, I wasn't arguing with that.
But gender, don't. He can't play a woman. He can't.
I think sex might be the right word, isn't it?
Oh,
'Cause
right.
gender's the one where you're just like, I am this, and you believe it, right?
Yep.
I can't believe how terribly bigoted you are.
My Polish sense let me down.
Wait a second. I'm hanging out with you, but my Polish sense isn't tingling. Look,
It's
are
because
you an
you're
imposter?
No, you're fucking lame.
I'm just joking, guys. My Polish sense is tingling.
What nationality do I look like?
White.
Not Polish.
You know, Will Brooks, you look like scum. That's what it is. Best joke in the film already happened, but the second best joke was that, where it's like, he couldn't see because Eric Idle was standing in front of the binoculars.
It's very classic.
It's
Gag.
a classic Monty Python style gag.
All that needed was, using the binoculars backwards. And being like,
No, it would have been like even better. He had the cap still on the binoculars. Like, I can't see. And then when he puts them down, he has ring marks around his eyes. And then Eric Idle looks at him with a look that says, "It was me." But the problem is, Brendan Fraser doesn't know what that look means because he's got some oil in his eyes. So he can't see now. And then Eric Idle's the real fool in the situation because he doesn't know that Brendan Fraser can't see the acknowledgement that he did it.
Eric Idle goes through a big transformation throughout this film.
Yeah! Well, did you expect Eric Idle to not only become an essential aspect of the character development for Dudley Do-Right, but to have a hidden backstory and an emotional arc?
He's very dynamic in this film. There's a lot of hidden depths that slowly come to the surface. It's a wild ride.
It's a wild ride. I legitimately thought his house was a tunnel underground. I didn't think it was just like a bunch of shit made into a teepee of junk. I thought it was like, because his door's on an angle, so I thought he lived in a tunnel.
Wait, it's not subterranean?
No, it's just a teepee. I thought it was subterranean. I legitimately thought. He's like, my house is terrible. And it was like, oh, okay. And he lives in a tunnel.
Maybe he just wants something that, looks a bit post-apocalyptic.
I thought you were going to say you want something that looks a bit Pocahontas. I'm like, you could stay with the Indians. Come on.
Yeah, there's that green and yellow.
What is this? What is this scheme color?
I'd say it's a pretty friendly shade of yellow as well.
And
green.
green.
A nice green.
And a rich green.
It's not like a putrid swamp mucus sort of green or like a bile sort of yellow.
Well, who do you think would win in a fight? The colour yellow or the colour green?
Oh, I'm actually thinking green's my favourite colour, so I actually think I'm too biased
but
to assess that.
Well, I don't like either colour, so I'll come in as the fair neutral one here, and I say it will be green that would win.
Good call.
But here's the thing: to make green, you need yellow.
Yeah, but that means...
Does that mean there's like some kind of origin thing at play? Like, is yellow an old man?
Yeah, yellow's old, and green is the sun that can beat him to death.
I apologise for gendering the colour yellow.
Yeah.
I am a bigot too, but we're Polish, so I guess Polish people are just bigots.
Yeah,
Yellow
fuck, we hate women according to Eddie.
A daughter beating her mother to death.
Yeah.
We could be very progressive here.
Yeah. Oh, it could be a man beating a woman to death.
Like,
yeah, we don't want to be...
Exactly.
We don't want to exclude
is green a rebellious child, or is yellow a veteran samurai?
Well, you see, you're personifying the colours. I'm gonna...
Well, they're gonna fight, Ryan.
Oh, yeah, but, animals can fight too. And nature can fight nature. You know what they say? Fight fire with fire. I think green will win because, yes, orange is its one of its main originating colors. That means it will just consume the yellow to make it green.
And here's the thing, guys. I actually knew the answer walking in. I was just pretending I didn't. It is a metaphor
for communism.
No, I think much earlier in history, the War of Independence.
Oh my god!
It originated as Britain, yellow, then we got the North American colonization, and now it's its own thing, independent, green.
Oh, there you go. There's the is that a Polish dance that her dad's doing? Oh, he stopped.
He was happy. Polish people are sometimes happy.
Only sometimes. Usually not when there's a war.
Polish people, if there's no war on, they fight with themselves, so they're always fighting.
We're a fighting culture.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that our problem?
Mm-hmm.
I looked it up. It's true. We are a fighting culture. I have a friend who's been on the show who's Armenian. I was like, I wonder if I actually said this. I wonder if the Polish people have a grudge with the Armenians, and the answer is yes. We kicked them out.
Poland is infamous for the fact that all of the countries that surround it have tried to invade at one point.
Or the fact that the Polish people are jerks to everyone.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're a product of history.
There used to be conquerors. Tell that to
there
the
were kings and
Armenians.
stuff like that.
Yeah, Armenians, they kicked them out. They kicked them out when this is our fucking land. Get the fuck out of here. They're like, okay. I don't know if that's how Armenians sound.
I think the Polish person invented the mine detector.
The mind detector?
Not mine.
No, I think
Explosives on the ground,
I think a Polish
mines.
person did invent the mine detector.
Not metal detectors, mine detectors.
I thought you were saying first mind detector. I'm like, that's called a lie detector, Bartek.
No.
And then the second one, I thought you said, which was what you said, mine detector. But I thought you were saying like your
My
detector.
detector.
And I'm like, Bartek, I get it. You're Polish. You invented a detector. It's your detector. It doesn't mean the Polish people invented your detector for specifically you. Jeez, man. This scene reminiscent of Owen Wilson teaching a bunch of kids to fight in Drill Bit Taylor by, wearing some Japanese attire and beating kids with sticks.
That also kind of reminds me of the Karate.
Oh, Three Ninjas.
The one that's the Karate Kids, Ryan.
Yeah, they're the karate kids.
Oh, Beverly Hills Ninja, that movie.
I
Great.
love Chris Farley in that film. He's great. What are you on about? He has to step on sticky paper. Chris.
That's also an unappreciated masterpiece.
Yeah, Chris Rock's in it. Will's just in tears nearly about Chris Farley. He's dead now, so you should be crying.
Do you think that in this sequence, Eric Idle embodies and personifies the rising sun?
Yeah. And I think Brendan Fraser embodies the Canadians' battle against the rising sun. What was Canada like during the Second World War? Did they fight the Japanese, or were they fighting the Germans more? Canada, get back to me on this.
Yeah, don't ask a Polish question.
Is that
don't
when,
ask
is
a
that
Polish
when they
person.
burnt the White House?
No, don't ask a Polish question, period.
Don't ask a Polish person about what other countries are doing in World War II.
Except for if it's Germany.
Yeah, except for if it's Germany or Russia.
Russia, Germany, or the Americans, I guess.
Yeah, because the Americans saved us.
Yeah, exactly. So you gotta ask
So
about
we love
them.
America.
We love them. Wait, it's probably one of the few countries in Europe that actually likes the Americans.
Dude, when Trump gave his speech there a couple of months ago...
Oh, of course they loved it because...
They loved it. I've got a relative that I think cried because of that speech.
Was it when he said, you gotta grab him by the pussy?
To be fair, I read
And he's like, oh my god, that's always what I wanted to do!
To be fair, I read a transcript of the speech, and he actually goes into a lot of detail about Polish history.
Of course he does, because he's the president. He has to go into details about everything except for when he doesn't, which is all the time. Will, enough about the Polish people. Let's talk about your favourite moment in the film. I'm sure you had one. Tell us what it was,
We've
Will.
already said ours.
Yeah, you got to share.
Everyone else has put it out there.
Even the audience said.
I've got to.
Now put your heart out there.
Yep, I've got to put my money where my mouth is.
Your heart.
I've got to present my mouth. And people can't turn it down.
Well, bring back the mouths, Ryan.
That's what we call the payoff.
It's a hard one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Come on, boys from the lab.
I'm racking it.
Come
right
on.
out.
What about this scene?
This is a pretty great scene.
It's pretty good because
This
you think that's
styrofoam
made
saw
from
there.
that's a real saw. Do you
It
think?
looks convincing.
Is that called a buzzsaw?
Yeah, made by Buzz Aldrin. And
Buzz Lightyear.
no, Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Lightyear could kick his ass.
No, he couldn't.
He's got the buttons and press the buttons.
Yeah, but Buzz Aldrin's actually been to space.
He's pressed real buttons, yeah.
No, that would be the difference. Buzz has not actually been to space, as the Toy Story movies have set up.
Which specifically...
Buzz Aldrin has been to space, so he would know the techniques to kill him.
I was actually thinking of the in-universe character Buzz is a toy of...
No, I'm talking Buzz
We were
Lightyear, the
talking
toy.
about the toy. Okay, yeah, maybe the toy would lose.
The
This is a
toy...
good one.
The toy lost his arm at one point.
The toy versus an 80-something-year-old man.
Sorry, what did you say, Will?
This is a good scene too, where Brendan goes all hell bent for leather.
My favourite scene.
I like how he has a gun.
A lot of the reviews quite like this DD scene.
Very reminiscent of Daredevil with Ben Affleck, where they set fire to the scene because he's put kerosene there and it spells DD in the same way. So I think, I didn't look this up, but do you think the writer of Daredevil also worked on this film?
No, a writer of Dexter's Laboratory did.
Oh.
His sister Dee Dee.
Oh, I actually thought you were
the
going to...
connections are building up.
And then, Dexter, the serial killer, he's got a D in his name, and his name's Dexter too, so connection, maybe. Have you ever watched Dexter, the TV show?
No, but I think my mum and brother have, and we have the DVDs
Okay.
home, so I could.
Another sidetrack. This is fucking funny. You just have to Google it. In flashback scenes in Dexter, when they have to show him as a teenage boy or our age, no joke, they just put Michael C. Hall in a wig of the time period and put a bit of a filter on that's blue. And they're like, yeah, he's 17. This clearly, nearing his 40s man. And they're like, and he just does a voice. Like, that's it. He's just like, hey, Mom. Like, that's it. It's like, and this is an award-winning show.
Yeah, it's acclaimed.
And people don't like this movie? Come on, they actually got a kid to play the kid.
Whoa, hold on a second. People don't like this
Well,
movie?
that's why it's unappreciated. We've got to get to that after Will gives us a real solid answer of what his favourite scene was.
Look, people who don't like this movie aren't really people in the proper sense.
Yeah, more figments.
But hold on, is it that people dislike this film or people don't know about it?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both, buddy. I think people dislike it because they haven't heard of it. You know what I mean? Like when I say, hey, you want to watch Dudley Do-Right? And they're like, what? No, of course I don't.
They're like, Dudley? You mean like from Harry Potter? I know Harry Potter.
Dudley? You fuck. No, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch Batman v Superman on a loop before I watch Dudley Do-Right. There's only one.
Yeah.
There's only one version you watch, which is the extended Ultimate Edition.
Which I had to watch, yeah.
Which you had to as a victim. You're gonna fucking watch this, Bartek, and you're gonna like it. No! No! Please! I don't want to watch Amy Adams look for a bullet! No!
A lot of things happen in those 3 hours.
In those 3 hours, you could have watched 2 good movies. You'd have watched Dudley Do-Right
I could have watched
more
this,
than twice.
I could have watched this twice and had some time left over.
You could have watched this twice and a bit.
I could watch this twice and The Fox, The Box, and The Locks 5 times.
You actually could.
Probably.
And you'd get more depth. And that's what this film's about, depth.
Well, yeah, because I can analyze it better.
Depth. Johnny Depp was not in this because he's not an actor. Johnny Depp was also not in this. He's a wife beater. So
I watched 2 movies yesterday and Johnny Depp was in the other one, so...
That was the other movie you watched.
Murder on the Orient Express.
And the other movie you watched?
Was Dudley Do-Right.
Oh, good choice. Dudley was the good choice.
I watched them in the order of best to worst.
Oh, that taught Murder. Spoiler alert for Murder on the Orient Express.
Not as good as Dudley Do-Right.
Not as good as Dudley Do-Right.
Very good, but not as good as Dudley Do-Right.
Yeah, sure, it has a transcendent reveal, but, Dudley Do-Right has this moment with Eric Idle revealing that he has a tie.
That's transcendent.
I love the fact that on IMDb...
Wasn't Transcendent a different Johnny Depp film?
Transcendence.
Oh, the noun.
Yeah, where he becomes a computer.
Yes.
And Morgan Freeman's in it explaining that if you use a certain percentage of your brain, you can unlock full potential. That's very different to Morgan Freeman's role in Lucy, in which he plays a scientist, in which he tells you if you use a certain percentage of your brain, you can unlock your full potential.
Wow.
Very different films.
I was about to call you out and that was Lucy, right? But no.
No, Morgan Freeman plays Morgan Freeman in any movie. I really liked how the chainsaw did come back. You thought, what's this mean?
It's important.
And then you learn it means sculpt Sarah Jessica Parker out of trees. And that's what I've always wanted to do.
It's like bonsai art, but
ultimate. I like that she can't see that he's painting by numbers.
Maybe she knows, but she doesn't want to say.
Maybe she's really dumb. We don't know Nell really. We know that she worked for the UN for a bit of time. I guess she's smart.
She went to a lot of places, yeah.
And she never found what she was looking for all along.
Because it was at home.
It was at home. And what was she looking for, guys?
Her friend to be her lover.
Lover! I've known you guys since I was 6 years old, and now I decide which one of you fucks me in the ass. A. And then Dudley's like, "Hey," and then Snidely's like, "Hey."
They're like,
and then Henry Winkler comes in and is like, "Hey," and they're like, "Hey."
So, good versus evil
Versus Henry Winkler.
with regards to finding Nell's heart. What's the evil path? What's the good path? Is it like anal's evil?
No, anal's good overall.
Anal's good?
Anal, it's more non-consensual anal is bad.
Right.
And Dudley's totally about non-consent. He just takes it, man.
But Dudley can sing, so it makes it alright.
Well, yeah, he can sing.
And he's got a leather jacket and a motor.
And I think it's different too because, we know that Snidely really looks good in black, but he's in blue in this scene, so ooh.
And he painted
white.
blue. And that was a non-consensual painting of a forehead.
Can I just say,
Poor Homer.
does it still not look like he's in black to you? Like, even when he put his arm against the other one, I'm like, well, one's leather and one's material.
Yeah, like he's got like Brendan Fraser's got the whole shininess,
Yeah, he's got
the
leather.
lights glaring off of it.
It looks like he's in black still.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just really colorblind because men do have a color blindness on their own spectrum of getting blues and purples confused and greens and blues. Maybe we can't get blues and blacks.
A lot of the darker colors, it's kind of harder to see.
I think some languages didn't always distinguish between blue and black, actually, though I can't say which ones, and so that is an almost completely meaningless statement.
Could I just say, I just said that it's hard to tell the difference between the darker colors. That could be taken as,
Racist.
a bit of a progressive stance, I think.
Oh, yeah. I can't tell the difference. Does sound progressive, Bartek. Doesn't it, Will? I can't tell the difference between dark-skinned people.
Actually,
it sounds really progressive.
Homer's black clothes look pretty black.
Homer is the name of his assistant.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's what I was saying.
Any quizzes for this movie?
I found a Dudley quiz, but it was about famous people named Dudley.
Who
were
there?
The one question, I don't know. The one question about the film Dudley Do-Right was who played the main actor. Was it
who played the main actor?
Sorry. Who played the main character Dudley Do-Right?
I don't know who played Brendan Fraser in this movie.
The answers were Brendan Fraser. Was it Fraser or Fraser?
Fraser.
The answers were Brendan Fraser.
Actually, he does say in Dickie Roberts how you pronounce it.
Yeah. The wrong answers were Brenda Fraser.
Oh, who's she?
Brenton Grasser, because it had two S's. And the last one was completely out of nowhere. Oh, it was Boris Badenov.
I like how none of those options were actual actors, other than Brendan Fraser.
The correct answer, yeah.
That's what I mean. Why couldn't it have been
two of them,
Eddie Murphy?
Two of them were variations on the right answer, and the last one was a character from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Why couldn't one of them be Alfred Molina, Eddie Murphy, Val Kilmer, and Brendan Fraser?
Yeah,
that would be a good one.
So that was the only relevant quiz question that I could find. I remembered the answers.
So this is the scene in which the town that he kicked out at the start is somehow now back.
They ran back, but they ran back and accept what he's doing now. And now they don't accept him when he wants to murder someone. For some reason.
Murdering's bad.
Yeah, but...
See, now I'm progressive.
Yeah, you progressed all the way to the top, buddy. This film is great. And I don't understand you hack frauds out there that don't like it and give it only a 3.2 or something on IMDb. You fucking hacks. This is a 10 out of 10. Did you see Brendan Fraser? He had his arms exposed. Look at that.
He's pumping iron.
He's getting ready for The Mummy 2. The Mummy Returns with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Have you guys heard of Roger Ebert?
I've heard of him.
Who the fuck is that?
But before you can get onto this, it took me a while to figure out that she's meant to be corn.
Oh, she's corn.
Yeah, she's corn. Well, look at that little Polish man.
She's maize.
She's maize, which is corn.
Exactly.
There you go. Bartek, you were going to say Roger Ebert fucked off somewhere and wrote a great review?
Well, Ryan, you remember Roger Ebert's review for Rocky and Bullwinkle?
He loved Rocky and Bullwinkle.
He loved it. And you know what? He actually liked this film too.
Oh!
He gave it a 2.5 out of 4.
That's a lot of 4s.
Yeah, it's almost 75%.
Consistency.
And
in fact,
did he
that's
have a glowing comment to say? Oh,
was-
I loved the way that Brendan Fraser smiled.
It was basically a very similar to review the Rocky and Bullwinkle one. It's like silly, adults might cringe at it, but I thought it was fun.
Was it like his Race to Witch Mountain one, in which he reveals that I got sent some food?
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that.
I like that Brendan Fraser. He sent me some food one time. 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Look at little Polish man clap clap.
Yes.
Oh, there he is.
Very Polish clap.
So
I don't know how he looks like. He just looks like a European to me. Like, if you said that guy's Greek, I'd believe you.
He doesn't look Greek.
What is the defining features, Bartek? You're just like, he looks white and old.
Look, it's just a thing that I feel, alright?
Yeah, well, obviously,
met
but I'm trying to
Polish
define
people.
feeling.
I've met Polish people.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
in
trying to
Poland,
get you to
so-
define what a feeling is, or else we're just going to be speaking in
it's like-
metaphors,
it's like
which you can define, by the way.
I just feel like the structure of his face, the expressions, the kind of squint in the eye is reminiscent of Polish people that I've met and seen.
That squint of the eye.
I feel like I'm struggling, but I feel like the squint is the center of this feeling.
The center of the feeling is the squint. Will, could you squint Polishly for us?
No, it's not something.
Oh, that's it!
It's not something you do. It's something you have.
Well, no, the actors can replicate it.
Yeah, but it's like natural. For
Can
Richard
they? I
Prosky
thought we
here.
just established.
Yeah, well,
Can this be done?
Yeah.
I feel we're journeying into the unknown here.
Well, there's a great video on YouTube from a dialect coach in which he speaks about how Meryl Streep in Sophie's Choice really nails down the fact that she physically looks Polish by the way her lips move. Like, they're very close together. A lot of Polish people speak with their lips, like, very tightly closed together.
Is that talking about her playing a Polish person?
Yeah.
But this he's not playing a
I
Polish
know
person in this.
that. I was just saying before, Will, can you squint Polishly for it? It's like, no, you can't do that. It's more of a natural thing. It's like, yeah, but you can manufacture those
You can
things.
manufacture, but I'm talking in Richard Prosky's case in here. Inspector Fenwick, I'll keep calling him.
Prosky. Sounds like he's got a prostate issue.
He's just being himself, the actor playing a character. He's not
Maybe
necessarily...
the character is Polish.
He's Canadian, we know that.
He could be Polish-Canadian, perhaps.
Yeah. He ran away during the Second World War.
Well,
He's got a bounty.
And you asked earlier about the guy at the toll, the
Toll booth operator,
the
yeah.
toll booth. If he had to be native Canadian to operate that, would you have to be an actual Canadian citizen? Well,
Yeah.
you have to be. Maybe I'm not using the right words. Would you have to be in a similar context to that man if he had to be Canadian to become a Mountie?
I think you'd have to become...
Could Will move to Canada, get his citizenship?
Yes,
and
he
become
could, I
Mountie?
think, because, isn't it like Arnold Schwarzenegger has become governor so many times but he can never become president because he's not a born citizen there?
I believe that's
So
correct,
I think you can get in high-ranking places, but you can't get in certain ones unless you're a natural-born citizen of. So I think so. Snidely Whiplash owns a whole town now, and you know how he did it? Just buying it, really.
And running people out.
Well,
yeah.
threatening people with train tracks and ropes. Which,
Look, he's a 4-star general right now.
and you know how he got that? Oh, I love this. This is actually one of my favorite menacing lines that he's going to come up with, where he's like, "Burn it all down." Wait, no. Fix it up, like for the photos. And then he does the, the history,
Yes. And the person that he, gave those instructions to, this guy, he was also the person at the bar earlier that he was, giving, flip-flopping instructions to.
Yeah.
So it's like a bit of consistency. You're the guy that I give flip-flopping instructions.
Yeah! Yeah, I like how his mustache is becoming more curled as the movie goes on. Like, he's becoming more, refined. I also think we should commend the brilliance of the plan. I think in comparison to the other movies mentioned, George the Jungle and Rocky and Bullwinkle, I think the villain's actual plan is really solid. It reminds me of the 1960s Batman where the Joker runs Gotham's bank. And he runs it really well, and he only gets kicked out of running it because he invents death traps to get Batman, and Batman actually turns around and goes, the funny thing is, what the real joke is here? This bank has never been better. And if you weren't obsessed with trying to kill me, you could have been the richest citizen in the whole city. And he's like, oh, I feel like that is what this movie is, where like the bad guy is doing legitimate stuff, but in an illegitimate way. But the Joker, he wasn't. He was just running it really well. But I love the villain's plan is just take over the town, monopolize a whole town, and make a new economy that he rigs. I think that's a really interesting villain plan. It's not just tie the chick to the train tracks, which you would expect out of Snidely Whiplash.
In fact, he tied a dude to the train tracks.
Oh, yeah. Well, to get the bigger plan. But a villain like him, you'd expect him that would be his only plan. It's like, I'm going to kidnap the girl, and blah, blah, blah. I like the fact that in a movie like this, he doesn't just have a series of ongoing plans, he just has one. Just one. And
all of like the sub plans that just keep that plan going.
Yeah, well, in other movies like this, or just movies, it would be like a series of comical sketches of how he's trying to kill Dudley Do-Right, and they all fail. In fact, he doesn't even seem that fussed to kill him, because he's kind of like, I've won. I don't need to kill him.
Yeah, but it's also...
He did try, and he thought he was dead, but even after that, he was like, meh.
He's also just thinking about, like, kind of what's next, I guess. Yeah,
He's trying to maintain the town.
But also, he's having this whole... He had that whole thing of, like, Dudley's becoming the bad guy. That's kind of like my style.
He gets to do all the cool things.
Yeah.
And I'm the good guy. And that associates with him wearing blue. It's like he's changing. You know?
I mean, that little vest he's got going's pretty blue.
Yeah. It's so blue, it's great.
Ryan, is he your favourite?
Sorry, I'm colourblind. I thought we all established this.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Will doesn't understand colours. He doesn't see race.
Ryan, is Snidely Whiplash your favourite character in the film?
No, I like the fact that my favourite character is the Chief's sudden fatigue.
The...
Chief? Sudden fatigue.
Is that his name?
No, he just keeps having fatigue suddenly.
Oh, you're personifying his sudden fatigue. I see.
I know that the Chiefs, the Indians have stupid names like No Standing Room or whatever, but like my favorite thing, no, that's not my favorite character. My favorite character would have to be Snidely, of course. He's the best.
I
He's
thought
just so above everyone else.
Because in university, in our last year, you played a character that's sort of similar to him, I guess.
Yeah,
In the
aesthetically and being a villain.
But I love how the Chief gets tired sometimes, and he's like, "Just leave me here," and it's like, why?
Then he
does he just want to die?
Well, I think
is this his plea for euthanasia?
I think the reason he's not dead is because he keeps having these last minute. Wait, no, I don't want to die.
He's just saying euthanize me and then changing his mind. Dude,
like, dude, you are not youthful.
Dude, I'm pro euthanasia. I'll euthanize ya. Will you pro euthanasia?
I quite like young Asian people. I think they're pretty good.
See, we both went to the young thing.
In Asia.
And Ryan was like, nope.
I think I know what my favourite scene is. Now.
What is it?
It's a scene where Brendan sits down and he falls over, and then the flag falls over behind him.
Oh!
It's a scene so great, even the movie has to have it like 3 times.
Well, the rule of threes.
Up, yeah.
It's the rule of threes, buddy.
It's a good thing.
Bartek, favourite character for you? Have you said? I think,
Favourite character?
Is it Polish Man?
He's got the best look, but I think when I saw that, I was like, the flag's there.
And you're like, that's not Polish flags. Run around, buddy.
Yeah, for me, it was like, those are the Polish colours, but I'm like, oh, if only it was upside down. Polish people aren't coming to the rescue.
The Polish cavalry would not come, you know that.
Yeah. Look, Snidely is just a really fun character, and he's, for you could almost argue he is like the most primary character in the film, even though he is the antagonist, which by definition means that he is opposing the main character. But I think as this film is kind of like a good versus evil film, you need to have both of them be the protagonist and antagonist to each other. So I might have to give it to him simply because he is incredibly entertaining, but I would have to give our resident good character, Brendan Fraser's Dudley Do-Right, a close runner-up.
There you go. Will, favourite character? It's okay.
I'm going to go with Snidely's mustache.
I knew it!
Especially as it gradually curls more and more as it goes on. It really gives you that sense of progression.
Jumping back to what I said earlier, both the films I watched yesterday had, iconic
Mustaches.
mustaches, yeah.
Well, it is Movember, so...
There you go. That's why I picked it. You got me. It's Movember, so that's why I picked it.
Is this Moustache Month, Ryan?
Every film has someone with a moustache in it.
Great.
What was last week's film? Observe and Report? Yeah, that I got.
Well, Seth Rogen was notably shaven in that film.
Well, yeah, but, other people had
Did
moustaches.
Aziz Ansari have...
No, but Michael Pena did.
Oh, yeah.
Nailed it. I've pre-planned this all along. And the reveal is Eric Idle is the first husband of Canada. That's the reveal.
Yeah, he just became it, I believe it was. Right?
He just became first husband of Canada after finding gold.
Hey, look, Snidely's black again.
Ooh.
Which is what he wants.
Ooh, yeah, that's what he wants.
And Homer became black too, but he's kind of got, like, orangish shit.
I love just everything about this film.
I do too.
I'm upset it's ending. Film is too strong a word to use because, sometimes saying film can be a bit intimidating. I think this should be called art. This is art. What's the difference between art and a film? It's really all subjective, but like a film could be, I think I will have to put a film as one that's on a level appreciated. This is a piece of art. And art kind of evokes superiority to film. Even though one's appreciated more than the other, doesn't mean it's better.
Yeah, I could definitely see where this, not debate, but this, like...
conversation.
Duality is coming from.
Dialogue.
But we can at least say that it is a masterpiece, especially just from this alone.
Yeah. Oh, and how do you end the film? Horse nose.
That's how I wanted it.
If you look at the end of a horse nose, the black part from a certain angle, it kind of looks like a frog.
You mean the nostrils?
But the mouth as well.
It looks like a frog.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
Did you know that horses are fucking ugly? But everyone paints
That's pretty
them.
rude.
A lot of people
Love horses.
put beautiful style adjectives towards horses too.
Yeah, well, they're wrong too. You know what? I love, even though Eric Idle's character has a name throughout the entire movie, they just list him on the credits and on IMDb as just the prospector, nothing else. His name's like Darling, something Darling. They make a big deal about it. He has a name. He's not just like the prospector. He goes on TV.
They just call him by his initial occupation, yeah.
That's how they should name all the characters. Dudley shouldn't be Dudley Do-Right. It should be Mountaineer.
Kid who wants to be... Oh, no, that'd be the child.
Horse is horse, so...
Horse is horse. And then Snidely can be Mayor.
Well, no, his initial thing was bad guy, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he has to have a real job title, buddy. You know what I mean? So he becomes...
Criminal.
Outlaw, and then Mayor. And then you already have Inspector Fenwick, so he can just be Inspector.
Or Dad.
No, Inspector. He's more of an inspector than he is a dad.
Okay.
In this film. And then you can have Homer. He can be... Oh, no, he had a job. Homer had a job. He was a judge of Slurry.
Yeah.
Foreman of Slurry. And then Will Brooks. His name is no longer Will. His name is Admin Assistant.
Initial guest.
And initial guest, you, Bartek.
OG guest, in fact.
Bartek, you are no longer Bartek, but student. Because you're a student, you don't have a job.
Well, we're talking about initial occupation, though.
Oh, initial occupation?
Well, then we'd all be just like newborns, I guess.
Yeah, we'll all just be students if you want to go towards careers as well, because people look at student as a career. So, you're student.
And you're a guy who... Well,
and I'm a bum. There you go.
I was about to reveal your actual occupation, but I'm like, ooh, shouldn't say that.
Ooh, find me, motherfuckers.
It's secret.
Ryan carries sticks.
Film has ended. I carry sticks. Al Gunn was a standby carpenter. He did a great job.
Oh man, construction coordinator was Doug. What was that, Doug Hartwick? He did a good job, man. I hope I got your last name right, because I saw it for a millisecond.
He's on the board. Is it? Oh, Ross. I thought it said Boss
Don
Spike.
Steele.
Okay, let's get to our reviews and ratings. I'm going to give this a review and a rating. The review, well, what do you say about a film like this? I'll tell you what you say. You say, thank you, Jay Ward, the creator of the character. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be enjoying this film, this character, this property, this story, this world, this idea, this humor. I say thank you. As should everyone. They should all say thanks.
T-Y.
THX. Thanks.
KK.
KKK is the initials for thank you very much, J. Ward. I don't, you know what? This film's left me a bit speechless. You know, I'm kind of grasping for words to what I say in this kind of review, and
it's going to be a great review even despite that. Yeah,
it's a great review, like they are always. And you know, the thing is, this is a film. Even though I said it wasn't a moment ago, it is. It's an artwork. You should all own a copy of this and be proud. If you're Canadian, I imagine that you're given this at birth, even if you were born before the film. You know, that's how much pride Canada has in this film. Bruce's catering did a good job as well. I just want to point out their contribution.
Bruce
to the
did
film.
well too. Yeah.
I love Rocco.
If I have to give this a rating, which I do, it would be a green out of yellow. Will, let's hear from you.
You know, the green did come out of the yellow, so that's perfect.
Exactly, that's why I said it.
It's difficult to quite put the richness and majesty of this film into words. It's very thick. It's a film thick with beauty and depth, like maple syrup. As I was watching this film, I mostly sat impassive, not really having much of an emotional reaction.
That's what the film wants.
And when a film does that to you, you know you're having a great time. It's a great movie. I feel I have to agree with James from my high school. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Is that even what I said before? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was.
It's pretty great.
A rating?
It's pretty great out of DD.
DD, there you go. Bartek, let's hear from you. Are you born to be wild? Let's hear from you.
Throughout the past couple of minutes, there have
Even
been...
got Do-Right by me?
They do. They do that.
They did that right.
Throughout the past couple of minutes, you know, we've been kind of randomly reading the credits, and I will say I did it too. I noticed that a couple of times they listed Best Boy, and, you know...
Who is the best boy?
Well, one of them was Gus Oliver, and then the other one was, like, something else. But I couldn't help but notice that they were just giving, like, little individual names. I think, truly, the Best Boy was everyone involved in the film. And, you know, boy is not like a literal thing. It's kind of like how in humanity when we say, oh, this is a two-man job. It's not literally talking about, you know, males. It's talking about, you know, in units, human units.
Yeah.
I think that when they say best boy, they're just like being, you know, a little childish version of the word man, which just means unit. So it's like best individual units, all of them.
Yeah.
Everyone involved with this film was the, quote, best boy. No, sorry, best isn't in quotes, boy is in quote.
Yeah.
Best is just literal, boy is the quote.
Yeah.
I think that this film is an amazing achievement in comedy. This is a film that, you know, it might not be classified as, you know, like a parody or a homage to any sort of genre, but I think that it did that without even trying to. I think that maybe when they were making the film, they just said, hey, let's adapt this story that we've already done in a 5-minute short that only Will and Ryan will have watched. They're thinking ahead to when we did this episode when they say that.
Yeah.
And Bartek can watch the one with the train tracks. We think that we should just do a good adaptation of that live action. We'll get Alfred Molina, we'll get Brendan Fraser, we'll get Sarah Jessica Parker, we'll get that Polish guy over there. He looks very Polish, by the way.
Prosky.
Richard
Prosta.
Prosky. I hope it's Richard. I've been saying Richard Prosky this whole time.
And then you're wrong. It was actually Bartek Prosky the entire time.
We just watched the credits, but we didn't look at that.
Oh, Prosky.
It's a film that has definitely inspired a lot of things. Like I said, that I found an allusion to the GTA radio, which GTA 3 wasn't made until maybe 4 years after this film. So clearly this film's writing, this film's comedy, could have been an inspiration to Mr. Dan Houser and Laszlo Jones when they were making the comedy of those games. This film, I think, has also inspired the post-coming era of the written comedies that we've talked about many times on this show. I think that also it's fair to say that it's as deep as it is, it's not that deep. I think it took this simple idea, ran with it well, did it well.
That's your review.
That's going to be the quote on the top of the Wikipedia, the TV
on
tropes,
DVD, on the
DVD
DVD,
page, the DVDs.
Well.
It ran with it well. It did it well. Well. This is a well film. It is a well, like the thing that has water, but like the water's a metaphor for greatness. If you want greatness, come to this well. The well being Dudley Do-Right from 1999. If I have to give this film a rating, I give it a 9,661 points.
That's a lot of points.
It's a number that I said earlier this episode.
Well, we've got some comments and reviews to read. Some comments from YouTube and some reviews from IMDb. I'm going to read the first...
You are DB?
IMDb, I am.
You are DB?
I'm going to read the first one. Bartek, you can give us some comments.
So you're going to read the reviews, just to be clear.
Will's going to read some reviews. I'm going to read a review for you.
But I'm the comments guy.
Yeah, the comments boy.
Yeah.
You're the best boy for comments.
Yes.
This one's called, Well, I'm Not Ashamed, I Had Fun. Cool. And this was written in 1999. So, the 30th of August. So, this film had just come out.
My brother hadn't even been born yet.
All right.
My brother was June. Listen.
All right. This was August.
For some reason, I thought you said like March or April.
Yeah, my brother wasn't born then. When was it? June. Far out.
I just said the A and I'm like, April, no.
Alright. All of you serious movie lovers, this is not the movie for you. This is a movie for people who A, enjoyed the cartoon, and B, like going to the movies for fun and not just for the spiritual enlightenment. To be honest, when the movie started and that familiar curtain rose on the cartoon Dudley backwards astrides his horse, I wanted to cheer, but I had a mouthful of popcorn at the time. The casting of the leads is nearly impeccable. Brendan Fraser is the only actor who could play this role with complete earnestness. Alfred Molina simply steals the movie as Snidely Whiplash, a role he seemed to relish as he chewed every piece of scenery he could lay his teeth on. Sarah Jessica Parker was pretty unremarkable as Nell, though. Fortunately, she doesn't get in the way of the fun. Finally, Eric Idle had some truly memorable comedic moments as Dudley's mountain man mentor. Go expecting nothing more than an unrepentantly silly movie which lasts a mere hour and 20 minutes. And there's a cartoon to boot! It's fun! Go and laugh. That's the end of that. Bartek, what did YouTube have to say? Now, to clarify, did you get these from where exactly on YouTube? You know, it's a large place. Did you just have to type in Dudley Do-Right YouTube comments into the search bar? How does YouTube work? What is it?
So you go to http://www.youtube.com. You can add another / if you want. / Press the enter button. At the top you will see, not the address bar, but a search bar for the YouTube website. You click using the left mouse button after you aim the cursor on the address bar, and you just type in Dudley Do-Right. That's Dudley. You can enter the space bar, which is the big button on your keyboard.
If you have a keyboard.
Then you write DO and then hyphen, which you might also call the minus button, or a little like horizontal line. Not the underscore, the one that's like in the middle of the character space, not the bottom. Then RIGHT, which that's not righet, it's right.
Oh, go, that's good. I almost worried there.
And then when you enter when you press the enter button, you will see a bunch of YouTube videos, and the top one is most likely going to be the official trailer, which was uploaded about 3 years ago.
But the film didn't come out 3 years ago. It came out longer than that.
I know, it came out in 1999, but I think the trailer was only uploaded like 3 years ago.
Wait, was YouTube not around in 1999?
No. It
Oh
was made in
my
like
God.
2004 or 5.
Twist.
And then
Twist it up inside.
And then if you click on that, you'll find the video. I didn't say with the left mouse button, but I think you've learnt at this point. And then you can scroll down, which either means pressing the arrows on the right side of the screen. If your mouse has a scroll bar, you can do that. If you're using a laptop, maybe like the right part of the touchpad will let you scroll down. Or you can just press the down button or the page down button, and that's where you'll find the YouTube comments from the official trailer.
Oh my God, what did they say?
I have found... There weren't too many, but I've found 5.
I'll read this for you.
The first one is... nowhere near as bad as people say it is. With popcorn and junk drinks, a great Sunday at a matinee with the kids movie.
Told you, Sunday matinee, told you. Nailed this.
The next comment is, I remember watching this as a kid after George of the Jungle. I honestly thought George moved to Canada and got civil.
Wow, I don't want to say this, but I wrote every single one of these comments. Give us one more.
Okay. This one is the only one with a response.
Oh, I don't want to spoil it, but I think I responded.
This person, let's just say that they've made typos, so maybe that says the type of intelligence level they have. The first and last word of this comment are both the typoed word. More like Dudley Do-Sheet. Sheet.
Yeah.
They spelt more like M-O-A-R and shit as S-H-E-I-T. So they thought that this movie was more like Dudley Do-Shit. And the response, you don't know shit.
Oh. Damn.
Oh, Will, you have some comments and reviews from IMDb.
It's okay, Bartek, they're just reviews.
I'm the YouTube.
I'm not encroaching on
I'm the
your
me
territory.
tube.
Please
Give
don't
us
hit me.
some of these beautiful reviews. Statements of facts.
Testimonies.
Then I'd be Dudley Do Wrong by author Bozo from Nowhere from the 4th of October 2007.
Oh, God.
This review may contain spoilers.
Spoiler alert, guys!
This movie wasn't bad at all. I first saw it when I was about 10. I thought it was hilarious. 8 years later, I still think it's funny. The best scenes have to be the ones with Snidely, forgive the spelling, though it's actually spelt right, like the DD scene, where he asks his goons what the letters DD are doing in the wall in bullets. And they all try to guess what DD stands for. Also a great scene is where he's painting. Then Dudley rides up and just keeps outsmarting him in everything. Quotes, it's paint by numbers. You're not wearing black, Snidely. That's dark blue. Classic. You gotta love how Snidely tricks 999 criminals to going to Africa to get him, even though he's standing right there wearing a bandana over his face. And the mustache. It's also a riot how he refers to himself as the bad guy throughout the film. Overall, good movie, not the best, but it's still fun to watch.
Fun to watch.
I think the movie was made for this person.
Do you have another one there you want to read us?
Better than I expected.
It's better than you expected.
Author Sean Watson from the Penumbra. The penumbra, you know, with a shadow. The umbra is the darker part of the shadow, and the penumbra is the sort of lighter.
The edge.
Oh,
the
they're
edge.
from the edge of
I'm
darkness.
getting flashbacks to like Year 9 science now.
So that's a penumbra. I don't know what the penumbra is, but that's where Sean Watson is from. And this review is from the 2nd of June, 2000.
Oh my God!
Though this film was going to be nothing but juvenile nonsense, how pleased I was when I discovered that it was a lot livelier and energetic than I predicted. The voiceover never once annoyed me as I thought it would, and everyone in this movie seems to go overboard with their characters. Yet, despite all the energy and frenetic comedy, the film never feels indulgent. The plot is, of course, nonsense. But then again, you hardly want a family movie to have a labyrinth plot. Dudley Do-Right may have flopped, but I don't know why. It's in the same field as the terrible Waterboy, but that made over $100 million. This I won't understand. Maybe it's only because Canadians will truly love the intellectually challenged Mountie.
Ah, so they reveal they're from Canada. Ha ha ha! Figure that out.
So that's where the
I
power
loved
is.
they want children's films not with plot lines like like Labyrinth, the movie. It's like that's a children's film. I guess they're saying too elaborate. Bartek, finish us off here. YouTube, bring it home.
The second last comment is... What the even? Well, I guess there has to be a humanized something in this world. / /
Wow. I guess there has to be.
Yes, there has to be.
You guys want to, like, I don't know, refute that? Or do you agree with it?
I
agree.
think I'd have to understand what's going on to try and refute it.
No, I agree. 100%. I get what he's saying. Because I wrote it. And I know me. I know me and I know what I'm saying. What am I saying? I don't want to reveal it on the podcast.
Well, I guess there has to be a humanized something in this world / /
I'll just have to trust you, Ryan. I've been wrong like 5 times in this review. But you understand this movie, so you must be right.
I understand.
I
I
won't
understand.
dispute it.
/ go on.
The last comment is... Lame asses below don't know funny when they see it.
Ooh, I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying.
That was fucking savage.
I'm pretty sad. So, you guys have been fantastic, amazing, wonderful, superfluous, stupendous listening people, and as always, you can help us out. That's right. You want to give us a thumbs up? You can. We're not threatening you. You know, give us a 5-star on iTunes, or give us a message saying, good job, lads.
Or a review.
Or a review, whatever.
Or like the page on Facebook.
You know,
tell a friend.
Go on IMDb, and you type in IMDb. Here's what we're going to do, right? If you're real listeners of the show, and you really love us, you know, I'm just saying, go on IMDb, make an account, log into that account, right, you're holding your seat there, write in the film that we're going to be covering, we're going to cover in the future, called Arthur, with Russell Brand, and your review title should be, Hey boys, it's me. Type in your name, 10 stars, and we're going to read it. You know?
If you do that, we will definitely read it.
We'll read it.
And we'll do Arthur.
That's true.
And we'll do Arthur. Or I'll read that when we're doing a completely different movie and it'll throw you. Because you have to listen to every episode to find out if I'm going to read it or not. So go to Arthur, flood that, make it an 8-star movie.
We might have even read your review before this episode.
So you have to listen back to all the 90 episodes.
Yeah, it might be in Thunderpants, might be in, Flipper.
Might be in this episode. You have to re-listen to it.
Might be Bringing Down the House.
We're on YouTube, Facebook, all that. Just type Spin Polish Presents, and have fun or don't. I'm not your boss. I'm just your friendly neighborhood podcasting man. Will, as always, a pleasure. Bartek,
It was a pleasure.
as always, tolerable.
Same to you.
Oh, thanks, buddy. And you guys at home, remember to be kind to each other.
Always.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Will, say something unexpected. The episode's still going.
Ryan, is that a violin in your corner?
Yes! Do you want to play the violin, Will? Do you want to play my tiny violin for the audience?
Seems a bit risky, but I'll give it a go. No, I don't think I'm getting a good grasp here. I haven't been through proper training. I'm sorry, Ryan. I think I've damaged your violin.
Could I try it?
Yeah, sure. Be careful. It's made of real mahogany.
Alright. Just testing it.
Testing.
No, it really is broken.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I had to sell your ears with that, guys. But you know, what the even? Well, I guess there has to be humanized something in this world. //
Hyphen.
/